Most citizens in a democratic society like ours here in the U.S. rely on news media to obtain knowledge in order to make important decisions. Most citizens in a democratic society like ours here in the United States rely on news media to obtain knowledge in order to make important decisions. If you have ever wondered how a print news story, that is any news story in a newspaper, is created, I'm here to answer some basic questions and provide a very basic guide to writing a news story. The standard practice is to use the inverted pyramid concept, seen here. The inverted pyramid concept is an upside-down pyramid and is supposed to represent an order of relevance of newsworthy information. At the top we have who, what, when, where, and why, and potentially the where could be used in a circumstance lower in the pyramid if it clutters the lead. A blind lead is supposed to blindly attract someone to continue reading the rest of the story. After the circumstance, we put the quotes or paraphrases that we got during interviews or potentially from public records or documents. Anything after that is additional information that should be put in order of relevance, considering that the lowest level of the pyramid, the very last piece of information, could potentially be cut off by an editor. With a set of information like this one here, we can use this information and plug it into the inverted pyramid concept to create our own news story. Here's what the blind lead looks like. We want to know who, what, when, where, and why. And we give us our blind lead. Who is the USC student? What? He died. When? Last night at 10:30 p.m. Where? The Lake Murray Dam. Why? He slipped while attempting to dive. And this equals the blind lead and can be read as, a USC student slipped off the Lake Murray Dam last night and died. With that lead, almost anyone in the Midlands area will be willing to read the rest of the story to find out who this person was, what they were doing near the dam, not in their car, and what are the outcomes of this event. So, the circumstances that will come after the lead, the student was accompanied by a friend. They were about to dive off the dam when the student slipped, hit his head, and died. The following information will be a quote from Harry Harman in Lexington County Coroner that we had in our information that I showed you. The quote is, Jones said his friend was preparing to dive off the dam, then he slipped and fell over, said Harry Harman in Lexington County. Attributions always go after the name. And unlike this case, if the quote was more than one sentence long, we would write the first sentence of the quote and then have the attribution, the person who said it, and their identifiable phrase of what their position is, and then the rest of the quote. But since we only have a one-sentence quote, we just put the attribution after it. And the additional information is in order of relevance, and that is up to the reporter themselves writing the story, but it's safe to say that the very information on this sheet that was just additional information, that I'll read it off to you. Harry Harman, the Lexington County Coroner, said today that a man died when he hit his head on a concrete base of the dam around 10:30 p.m. Harman said drivers from Lexington County Emergency Preparedness took about 30 minutes to locate the body in 30 feet of water and 20 feet from the dam. These are more important pieces of information than say Harman said both the men have been drinking before the accident. If we include the men have been drinking before the accident higher up in the story, it might lead people to believe that the men were drunk, and that is not the information that we have, and we don't want to mislead the readers. So the fact that both the men have been drinking before the accident should go at the very bottom of the news story in case your editor takes that off. That will be not a necessary part of the news story to get the point across. And I really hope that this video has helped you learn some more about news.